It starts quietly. No one notices at first. You're 7 years old, staring into the eyes of a parent who's falling apart. Maybe it's addiction, maybe it's anger, maybe it's just the empty silence of someone too broken to show up. And without a single word, something ancient clicks in your young mind. If I don't hold everything together, no one will. That's how a child disappears. Not physically, but emotionally. They smile more. They cry less. They learn to read every room before they speak. They become the peacekeeper, the fixer, the tiny adult long before their mind is ready. And the world praises them for it. You're so mature. You're so responsible. You're so strong. But no one ever asks, at what cost? This is the invisible grief of those who grew up too fast. Because the effects don't fade with age, they follow you into everything. Your relationships, your career, your sense of worth. And unless you understand what really happened, you'll spend your adult life repeating the same survival patterns that once protected you, but now slowly destroy you. When children are forced to take care of adults instead of being cared for, psychologists call it parentification. It means the child becomes the caregiver, the therapist, the protector. This doesn't just hurt, it rewires the brain. You become hyper-aware, always scanning for danger, walking on eggshells. You learn that love is a transaction. You give peace, and maybe they give you safety. You learn your needs are dangerous, and theirs are urgent. So you disappear. In your place grows a version of you that performs perfectly. The good kid, the quiet achiever, the one who never asks for help. You wear that mask so well, even you forget it's there. But deep down, something aches. Because the child you buried never died. They're still inside, silently asking, why didn't anyone protect me? As you grow older, that wound shows up in new ways. You become hyper-independent, refusing help, fearing love. You feel numb when you should feel joy. You can't rest, because being busy feels like the only way to be worthy. And maybe you don't even realize you're still living in survival mode. When chaos becomes normal early, peace feels wrong. Stillness feels suspicious. Love feels like a debt you have to repay. This is the psychology of growing up too soon. It's not weakness. It's trauma that reshaped your view of the world and of yourself. Why does a child do it? Because every child will do anything for love, even abandon themselves. It's not a choice. It's biology. In the absence of safety, they trade authenticity for belonging. That wasn't weakness. It was intelligence. It was instinct. But what saved you then traps you now. Many of us walk around as high-functioning adults with neglected inner children pulling the strings. We overachieve to earn love. We stay silent to avoid being left. We take care of everyone, secretly wishing someone would just ask, "Are you okay?" That's the unmet need, not of your adult self, but of the child who never got to be one. The first step to healing isn't fixing, it's seeing. Because until you validate what happened, you'll keep gaslighting yourself with, "It wasn't that bad. Others had it worse. I turned out fine." But fine is just another mask. When that child grows up, they become adults who never feel safe, even in calm rooms. They flinch at kindness. They give endlessly, but can't receive. They confuse exhaustion with success. This is the cost of growing up too fast. If your childhood taught you to be strong instead of soft, quiet instead of honest, and a fixer instead of free, then you inherit a life lived on high alert, always waiting for permission to finally fall apart. But here's the truth. No one is coming to rescue that child. You are.
You're the one who must go back, hold their hand and say, "You didn't deserve that. You were just a child. You can rest now." This is the beginning of real healing, shadow work. It's not about pretending or staying positive. It's about turning toward the forgotten parts of yourself and saying, "I see you. I hear you. I'm not leaving." It's hard because it means feeling the grief you never had time to feel, the birthdays no one came to, the innocence you lost protecting people who should have protected you. But that grief isn't weakness. It's proof you're healing. In adulthood, these patterns appear quietly. You become the therapist friend. You overfunction in relationships. You struggle with boundaries because saying no still feels dangerous. These aren't your personality. They're protection, learned behaviors. And the good news is, they can be unlearned. Healing begins when you stop worshiping your strength and start honoring your wounds. Ask your inner child, "What did I need that I never got?" You might hear, "I needed someone to tell me it wasn't my fault. I needed someone to ask how I was. I needed to play, to rest, to laugh." And slowly, you give those things to yourself, not to change your past, but to stop reliving it. This is how you stop seeking parents in partners, how you stop mistaking anxiety for intuition, how you finally stop running from the child you were. Carl Jung said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Healing means facing your soul, the scared, the angry, the ashamed. Because healing isn't becoming someone new, it's remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. If you grew up too fast, remember this: your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice. But now you do. You can choose softness. You can choose rest. You can choose to stop managing everyone else's emotions and start honoring your own. There will be days you feel small again. Good. That means the child inside you is finally coming home. Let them cry. Let them play. Let them be seen. You are not broken. You're becoming whole. For the first time, you're growing up the right way, not through fear, not through pressure, but through truth. You never got a real